In these uncertain economic times, you've got to do whatever you can to save money. One of our biggest expenses can be our cars, especially when unexpected repair bills hit. Not anymore. If you own a vehicle with less than 130,000 miles, is less than 12 years old, has a warranty about to expire, or even no warranty at all, you could stop paying for car repairs. Roadside assistance, towing, and rental coverage are all included. Don't wait for the next repair. Make one free call right now to see if you qualify. If your vehicle is less than 12 years old, has less than 130,000 miles, even if it's out of warranty, paying for car repairs can become a thing of the past. Call us right now and get your car protected before your next repair bill hits. Get protection and no more repair bills. Call 800-696-1030. Again, 800-696-1030. That's 800-696-1030. 800-696-1030.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
All writers are prone to becoming so attached to our characters and stories that we struggle to see why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing to full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, shaping stories into masterpieces that can stand the test of time. Editing services are provided for all genres and all age categories. Services range from critiques of the short story through to the line edits of the full-length novel and copy editing for those preparing for publication. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your websites, as well as help with those book blurbs and promotional material. We won't abandon you to the masses. We want to celebrate with you in your successes. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services and prices, visit us at blackwolfeditorial.com.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control over your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank account, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problems now by calling the experts at Tax Mediation Services and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. Tax Mediation Services is accredited by the Better Business Bureau. Call now for a free case review and a price protection guaranteed quote.
Call Tax Mediation Services now at 800-610-9050. That's 800-610-9050. 800-610-9050.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it, there to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 $3 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
Is debt beating you down? You need discipline. You need the Debt Ninja. If you've been caught in a financial trap and need to be set free, then you need the Debt Ninja. Want to stop those harassing collection calls, start saving thousands in interest and fees, and get out of debt fast? Then you need to call the Debt Ninja. The Debt Ninja will find the best companies across the country that will help you consolidate all your bills into one easy payment, reduce your payments by 30 to 50%, and get you out of debt fast. If you have unsecured debt of $10,000 or more, such as credit cards, loans, or medical bills, call the Debt Ninja for a free 15-minute consultation.
Call 800-826-1246. 800-826-1246. That's 800-826-1246. Call today.
The Debt Ninja.
It's time to hear the truth about America's biggest challenges. You're listening to America Off the Rails with your host, Rick Robinson.
Listen, folks, I'm here to tell you our political system is broken. The two-party system is dead. They have become one and the same.
Keep on doing what you do, Rick. You're my favorite host. Favorite host.
This is always the killer, the one that just destroys that never Trump argument. Hillary Clinton will fill the Supreme Court with liberals. She'll also appoint federal judges with a liberal bent to them.
I don't feel no ways tired. I come too far from where I started from. Don't let anybody tell you that it's corporations and businesses that create jobs.
Arrogant, sanctimonious, self-righteous, sabotaging Trump.
Everybody's got to be covered. This is an un-Republican thing for me to say, because a lot of times they say, no, the lower 25%, they can't afford. I am going to take care of everybody. I don't care if it costs me votes or not. Everybody's going to be taken care of much better than they're taken care of now. The government's going to pay for it, but we're going to save so much money on the other side.
ISIS is honoring President Obama. He is the founder of ISIS. He's the founder of ISIS. Written by a nice reporter. Now the poor guy, you got to see this guy. Oh, I don't know what I said. I don't remember. He's going like, I don't remember. Maybe that's what I said.
What realized is that the Bill Kristols of the world, the never Trump people, they were just never serious. They never had any kind of ground game. They never had an actual candidate they could pick.
And in a surprising and disturbing move today, the Libertarian vice presidential candidate just agreed that rifles are weapons of mass destruction and people on the terror watch list should not be allowed to purchase guns. So in other words, the party of freedom is liberty for me but not for thee. Go figure.
Compromise where you can. Where you can't, don't. Even if everyone is telling you that something wrong is something right. Even if the whole world is telling you to move, it is your duty to plant yourself like a tree.
All right, folks, good evening. This is America Off the Rails. I'm your host, Rick Robinson. It's Tuesday, no longer Monday, so we're one day closer to Friday. I have a guest, Mr. Bryce Robbins, will be joining us here in just a moment. You may recognize him from the guy that takes the leftist chair on the FCG show on Saturday mornings, otherwise known as Finding Common Ground. But before I bring him over, I have to vent for just a minute here. So, for those of you who weren't listening to the Jen and Rick show, one of the first topics we brought up today was Brad Thor and basically him suddenly jumping off of the Never Trump movement onto the Trump train. From his comments, I'm not sure if he's actually made it there or not, but he does seem to be leaning towards voting for him at this point. And I'm never, like I said, I've never in my life told anybody who they should vote for. But I will tell you that one of the decisions that I've made this election cycle, and probably from this election cycle forward, is principles do matter. And even if I stand alone, I will stand every single day for what I believe in. and that means that if a candidate does not align well enough with what I believe in, I will not and cannot support them. So for all of you that are basically in the hold your nose and vote for Trump camp, I understand, I empathize, I was there before, but I can't go there now. And actually, I have an article that will explain this coming out much, much better, probably next week on American Action News. It's undergoing some revisions right now as we speak, because I realized it's been about 3 months since I've written anything, and I'm a little bit rusty, but I'll hope to have it up either to them either by Thursday, Friday, or possibly Monday, depending on how quickly I can get to it. But without further ado, I do have a guest with us, which we don't always do here on America Off the Rails, but I thought this one was important. Mr. Bryce Robbins, co-host of Finding Common Ground, also host of his own show here on KLNRradio.com, the Opinion Nation. Actually, just in...
No, I'm doing good. I actually, in respect to the interview with Jill Stein, I've gotten feedback from both Jill Stein lovers and Jill Stein haters. And if you want, I can read you some. I might still have it. I don't know if I still have it.
Sure, go ahead.
Somewhere under I don't even know what you wrote there. Size of your ego. You're way out of your class. Someone said, well, I don't think about how the questions were asked. I think about how Jill answered them, and she's the best. We hate trolls here. But then I also got other nice comments saying how, well done the interview was. I got a couple people saying how, they're not going to vote for her after even hearing the interview, how clueless she was on the military and foreign policy. So when met with Jill Stein lovers, obviously they're in denial. Obviously they're not knowledgeable people on what the president's job is. But for the people who I posted it to who were either conservative or Hillary supporters, they saw how it evidently highlighted her unqualification to be president. In fact, I even had one of my teachers commented on one of the posts that I shared with the episode out, saying that I asked very, very fair questions, that it was a good piece of journalism, and that it will not change the fact that he is not voting for her. So I got a lot of good feedback. I got to be honest.
I just thought it was funny that a liberal talk show host basically just got called the liberal version of Sean Hannity by that first commenter. No, you're not the first person who said that. They said that, what are you, the liberal Sean Hannity? Somebody wrote that in a group. It has actually gotten so bad in some of these groups that I posted it in that I am not allowed anymore on Facebook till Thursday to post in groups. And not because I posted like rapid fire, because I posted something in a Jill Stein group just to see what the reaction would be. And everybody first trashed me. I never responded to anything because I figured, it's pointless. But then I eventually got blocked from posting in groups in general. I was like, wow, these people must not be happy with me. Oh, well, it's one of those things. You were saying something they didn't like. It's one of the biggest things that I've had a problem with when it comes to political discussion groups, because everybody talks about how important the First Amendment is till they get ticked off.
I'd actually just like to. So one of my former teachers wrote, "You were a respectable journalist. You gave her a chance to answer the questions, however difficult. She sometimes seemed to be trying to evade your follow-up questions just by keeping on talking without any break. She didn't change my vote." So, I really think Jill Stein is an idealist. She's not pragmatic at all. She has no clue how to handle the military and foreign policy. I mean, for God's sakes, let's be real here. You're going to close down 700 foreign military bases. Your reasoning for that is because when you combined other countries together, she said it made 30. I don't even know where that quote came from. And then she's going to tell me, when I asked her, if we close down all these bases, cut our funding, and cut our use of drones, won't China expand in the South China Sea? won't Russia continue to expand into Ukraine? I mean, and she just says, oh, that's no, like she didn't even respond to that. And the fact of the matter is, and like I said on OpNet, and you were there when I said one of the biggest mistakes, while I love him, that President Obama made was pulling his missiles, or the United States' missiles, out of Poland and Turkey. Because it sent a message to Putin, the area is back to you. And what did he do? He stepped into Crimea. So what do you think is going to happen if we close down 700 military bases and cut our funding? Another thing that she said, by the way, and then I'll toss it back to you on this, is that, and I didn't quite catch it. Actually, one of my friends said, you should have mentioned this, and I kind of did, but I kind of didn't. When I asked her, why do you want to cut the military's budget by 50%? Her answer was, because that's the number it was before the war on terror. Then she proceeded to give me an answer about how, we are the cause for terrorism, which in itself is partially true, one could argue, and I wouldn't disagree with that. I think I even did an episode on that. But the fact of the matter is, we are no longer in a pre-war on terror. The terrorists are still there. So if you cut the funding back to pre-war on terror levels, that doesn't mean that the terrorists are going to go down to that same level. It means that they're still there, they're still a problem, and we still need to deal with them. And while cutting drones, I even think I proved on the show, and I think it kind of was a good question to start with. I asked her, why do you want to ban drones? And she simply said, because they're killing civilians at a 90% rate. And I had statistics from the CIA and the New York Times saying that they're actually, quote, the least casualty inflicting military weapon. They kill the least amount of civilians of any military weapon. That was a direct quote. So I'm going to go with that. She never provided any sources. And if you look at her platform in general, she talks about how, and these are quotes from her platform. Every question I asked was from her platform. But one of them was, we're going to end police brutality, and we're going to, and this even came up in the topic, she said she's going to abolish student loan debt. Well, those statements are all well and good, but they don't make any sense at all. So, I don't know. I just think she's a wishful thinker.
Well, I mean, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Political systems, much like nature, abhor a vacuum. So you're right. The first big mistake, or one of the first big mistakes, other than his apology tour, Barack Obama made was removing missiles. Unlike you, I've never actually had a love fest for the man. I tried to embrace him as my president, and I did my best to do that, because every good American typically tries to do that, even when your side doesn't win. I listened to the speech, was a little disturbed by some of the rhetoric that he used in his very, very first speech, talking about this is the time that the waters began to recede, etc., blah, blah, blah. I'm not quite sure what he meant by that. I'm sure it was probably some sort of reference to your favorite pet argument of climate change, but I don't really want to get into that on tonight's show. But I thought you made some really good points, and honestly, I think you were harder on her than I would have been. But see, I guess the difference between you and I is when I interview somebody, I usually try to make sure that, if possible, I can make it a series of interviews. You kind of went for the jugular right from the start, and I don't know if it's maybe because you knew something that I didn't, because you were for those of you who don't know, we all work together here, but a lot of times it's the hosts that do the legwork to arrange their interviews, etc. So there's not usually a central person that does the booking, etc. So a lot of times the host has a better idea of what the interview is going to be like than anyone else on the station. So I was literally sitting back just watching you put her on the ropes repeatedly, to the point where she was actually bailing out at like 9.5 minutes in when she told you at first 10 and then extended to 15. And I honestly was impressed, because you didn't back down, not one time. And I honestly don't know if I'm in the same position, if at some point I might not have let her have a little bit of breathing room, but it's just the difference between our interview style. But I really was impressed with the fact that you didn't let the fact that you were interviewing a presidential candidate deter you from making sure that you made your points and got your questions asked. I thought you did a really good job.
Thank you very much. And let me explain a little why I had to go for the jugular on this interview. And you'll see, most interviews I'm somewhat aggressive with my questions and want to get the answers. But with Jill Stein, I saw I had a unique opportunity. Jill Stein is somebody who is not helping to unite the party of liberals as, in general, okay? And I know she's not a Democrat. I mean, just progressives, left-wingers. She has the opportunity, and what she's doing is she's being, and I mean this in the best way, she is trying to whore herself out to Bernie supporters who felt disenfranchised by Hillary Clinton. The presidential race is not to find the person you most align with, but is a strategic election to see how your country can move forward the best. Okay, I like a lot of what Jill Stein has to say. I agree with her on maybe like 60% of the things she has to say, maybe less, maybe 50. But it's not about that. And when I see what she's doing, when I hear her speak, I heard her ask the question, who would you vote for, Donald Trump or Hillary Clinton? She said, oh, they're two of the same evils. Now, look, I think I've even said that in the heat of the moment, but at the end of the day, they're two completely different candidates for some issues, especially some issues that she stands out on. And to see her be almost so selfish to say, oh, they're the same and, they're just as bad as one another, so it doesn't even matter, it does nothing. The second reason I had to go for the jugular, besides the fact that she's trying to get, and remember, I'm a Bernie Sanders supporter. She was going for me. I'm her audience. She's trying to get me to like her. And you know what? I think it's selfish. I think it's terrible. I don't think she's being a team player for liberals in general. If she wants the liberal agenda to move forward, she should support Hillary Clinton. Follow with Bernie Sanders, because that's the person who she touts as her, she was so happy Bernie's running, then join with Bernie because she's no Bernie. Second reason is because when I was putting together this interview, the team who was representing her press team, was so difficult to work with. They canceled on me twice. Then they never even responded to me to make a rescheduled date. I finally got through to somebody like the head of her, whatever, her press, very, very nice woman, helps me set it up, gets it for August 13th. The day before the interview, a lady calls me and says, oh, can we possibly reschedule, or is it too last minute? I said, you know what? No, it's a little too last minute for that. She goes, okay, well then can we do it later in the hour? If you remember, originally it was supposed to be at 11. It got pushed back to 11:30. It actually kind of worked out for the best. I think it gave a good intro segment. But besides the point, it's just, if I want you to be my president, then I should be able to hold you accountable to your word, and I couldn't even hold her and your people who are closest to you to your word. I couldn't do that because she didn't hold up to her word 3 times. So, and then even the fact that she said she'd be on for 15 minutes didn't even hold herself to that word. And when you ask her about her policies, she really gives no policy. She just gives an idea without policy. It's like when you ask Donald Trump, who are you going, what's you're going to be your economic policy? And he tells you, oh, we're going to have the best people running the best programs, doing the best stuff. That's not a policy. That's just you saying, oh, we're going to have great people doing it. It's the same idea. But oh well.
Well, no, I mean, look, and I know that you and I disagree on this, and I understand that. And again, I'm not trying to tell anybody who to vote for. But in my eyes, there really is not even a sliver of daylight in a lot of ways between Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. And either way, I think that they are in a lot of ways going to advance the liberal agenda, and I'm not okay with either one of them doing that, especially not somebody who was supposed to be running as a conservative. So the argument that I've been making for the last several months, for those of us that truly do believe that conservatism can work, not this crazy right-wing extremist version of conservatism, but just conservatism the way we were told what it meant, and what a lot of us that are the rank and file former party members were led to believe that it meant, and apparently were lied to. there's no difference between the two. When choosing between the lesser of two evils becomes choosing between cyanide and hemlock, I decide it's time for another choice. And that's why I started seriously looking at the Libertarian Party. And then all the craziness started coming out about the Libertarian Party vice presidential candidate being for forms of gun control. And
you're just going to stop with him?
What?
You're just going to stop with the Bill Weld? I mean, Gary Johnson, I don't know if you watched the CNN town hall, couldn't answer a question. I mean, I don't know if I want.
Well, it's probably because he was munching on a brownie before he went and did the town hall.
Probably was. I mean, every single answer was perhaps, maybe, I could be wrong. Even Anderson Cooper had to say, these aren't answers that a politician gives. And it wasn't refreshing. It wasn't the refreshing type of answer that you were looking for. It was oh God, this guy knows nothing of what he's talking about.
Well, yeah, I mean, like I said, because of everything that's been going on with car accidents and meetings with attorneys and chiropractors and everything else, I haven't been able to keep up with the libertarian stuff quite as much as I would have liked because of the fact that I am constantly running back and forth from one thing to the other. But what has been grabbing my attention are the stuff that's been happening in the news cycles. And the biggest thing that's hit the news cycles lately is, first, not only did the Libertarian vice presidential candidate make the comments that I had made earlier and you heard referenced in my new intro, but he then doubled down a day later and said that he thought handguns were even worse than AR-15s and other semi-automatic rifles. That's not something that we need to be hearing from the Party of Liberty. And that's what they've always billed themselves as. My problem is, the things that I'm slowly starting to come to terms with is, specifically at this point, we have three parties that are all doing everything they can to rearrange the seats at the table of power just so they get a bigger market share at the table of power. And
Rick. Oh, sorry, I didn't know you were done.
No, it's all right. Go ahead.
So, I don't know if you remember. So, I think it was 3 episodes ago, I had that guy Patrick McKnight, who is the chair of the New Jersey Libertarian Party, on, and he said something kind of to the effect of something that could remedy what you just said. He said that the Libertarian Party, I think it's Gary Johnson is the right candidate for the time, in the sense that he is not the most libertarian person, but he is a good stepping stone to get you there. So while I will probably never be a libertarian or jump on board with the Libertarian Party, I can tell you, if I was, and I wanted to get the Libertarian Party mainstream, I would consider Bill Weld and Gary Johnson, be it that they are two men who are moderately libertarian. And what I mean by that is, they're not the Austin Petersons, who I think is crazy, but beside the point. They are not, the full-blown, and that will help ease them into the mainstream. And I think, honestly, if you look at the Libertarian Party, I believe strongly they are going to be the next big party, and the Republicans and the Libertarians are going to flip. You're going to see all the people who were Republicans become Libertarians, all the Libertarians are they're going to grow, and then all the conservatism Republicans who are there now, who are just kind of twiddling their thumbs as the Republican Party burns, are just going to die out, because it's a failing. It is a completely failed agenda. If you look at the Republican Party platform, it's a Duke burger. It's a failure. They are going to extinct themselves with their own agenda. I don't know if you ever got the chance to look at it, but it is behind the times.
All right, folks. Well, on that note, since he's my guest, I'm going to be nice, but we do have to take a break, pay some bills. We'll be right back here on America Off the Rails. I'm your host, Rick Robinson, with my guest, Bryce Robbins, who is typically my co-host on Finding Common Ground, and we'll be back here in just a moment.
And the host.
Stay tuned. Things are going to get real interesting. You're listening to the Spark Radio Network.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
All writers are prone to becoming so attached to our characters and stories that we struggle to see why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing to full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, shaping stories into masterpieces that can stand the test of time. Editing services are provided for all genres and all age categories. Services range from critiques of the short story through to the line edits of the full-length novel and copy editing for those preparing for publication. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your websites, as well as help with those book blurbs and promotional material. We won't abandon you to the masses. We want to celebrate with you in your successes. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services and prices, visit us at blackwolfeditorial.com.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control over your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank account, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problems now by calling the experts at Tax Mediation Services and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. Tax Mediation Services is accredited by the Better Business Bureau. Call now for a free case review and a price protection guaranteed quote.
Call Tax Mediation Services now at 800-610-9050. That's 800-610-9050. 800-610-9050.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it, there to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
All right, folks, we're back. We're live. We're in the second half of the show already. My, oh my, where does the time go? Still have my usual co-host on Saturday mornings with me, Mr. Bryce Robbins, also host of Opinion Nation, and again co-host on Finding Common Ground. We've spent the majority of the first half of the show talking about his interview with Jill Stein, and then, of course, right before break, he decided to throw down the gauntlet. So we're going to backtrack to something that he said right before we went to commercial about the fact that he feels the conservatism movement as a whole is a dead or dying movement. So, couple things to set straight. First of all, Rush Limbaugh, Sean Hannity, Laura Ingraham, not conservatives, not in the true sense of the word. Anyone who's voting for Trump based on principle, and not because they feel like they don't have any other choice. Likely not a conservative, because Trump is a big government guy, whether anybody wants to admit it or not. He doesn't even really want the job in the first place, or he wouldn't keep trying to shoot himself in the foot. So anybody who's willingly aligning themselves with this guy doesn't have the right to call themselves conservatives anymore. Most of us true conservatives are the ones that are at this point looking at the Libertarian Party, or even doing as I'm doing right now, and looking at forming a new party so that conservatism, which is an ideal that basically focuses on limited government and adherence to the Constitution, are the two biggest things other than freedom. There's three things that we're really worried about at this point. We don't have any of them anymore. Freedom in this country is basically a myth because it's been overregulated and nearly licensed to extinction. We have very little adherence to the Constitution any longer because nobody even knows what it is. Donald Trump's probably never even looked at the Constitution, yet he's running as a conservative. We ousted someone who knew it word for word, line for line, because he's been reading it for as long as he could. Whether you thought he was crazy or not, it still doesn't change the fact that he was a damn good conservative candidate for president, because at least he would have probably, hopefully, adhered to the Constitution. But with as screwed up as the Republican Party is as a whole anymore, I don't know. I don't even honestly know if that would have worked. Because he wasn't my first choice, my fifth choice, or he basically became my last hope. And that was Ted Cruz, because he was the last person left in the race that at least somewhat acted like a conservative. He wanted limited government, he wanted adherence to the Constitution, and he was beat out by a guy that's driving around in a clown car who doesn't actually want the job. So to say that conservatism is a dying movement, that's not necessarily true. Conservatism at this point is alive, and is probably more alive than it's been in a long time. We've just been ousted from our own party, so at this point we're looking for a new home. Because I don't consider myself conservative anymore, and neither are Republican anymore, and neither do most conservatives that I know.
All right, I'm going to answer that with a quote from you. You once told me that everything... sorry, I can hear myself. That you can find the... honesty, I guess. Normally, the right answer lies in the middle. I don't know why that took so long to come out. It's because I could hear myself. But normally, the truth lies somewhere in the middle. And while I don't think conservatism alone is good, I see in business, in the free market, I believe in that stuff. I believe in a freer market. But at the same time, I like taking things from socialism that works. I mean, there are some programs that do work, and I think
which one?
Reality.
Which one works? Which one?
Well, let's look at the poverty in America. I mean, when you look at the numbers of people who have risen from poverty in this country because of social programs, the number is staggering. So when you say the war on poverty has failed, well, it doesn't really look like it's failed. It just looks like it needs a tune-up now because it works.
So we got like 60% of the black population on food stamps right now, but the war on poverty is going good. Good to know.
I mean, let's look at the numbers. 21 million people taken out of poverty by Social Security. We had an additional 20 million people getting health care under Medicare and Medicaid. We insured millions of senior citizens. We brought the average age of death of among poor senior citizens up 20 years in the past, from 1960 to 1970. I mean, I'm not going to tell you that the war on poverty is doing well now. I think it needs, again, a tune-up. I don't think we should swing too much in one direction or the other, but I think when you have some leftist programs and some conservative programs and you mush them together, they work better. We cannot leave.
Except you're missing the biggest point. You're missing the biggest point, because all of these social programs that you're touting now, they may have been started with the best of intentions, but they have become social spider webs, not social safety nets. If you want to know what the inevitable conclusion of all of these social programs are, look at places like Milwaukee, where we now have third-generation people on food stamps, third-generation people using housing programs, third-generation people that have no idea how to get off of them, and they're looting and destroying their own towns because they don't know what else to do, because they feel like the government is completely ignoring them. They're completely built up to the boiling point because we now have a government and a press that is colluding to make them feel like they have no other choice but to lash out in any way possible. We now have people for the first time ever, because everybody talks about how, oh, Black Lives Matter is a good thing. They're just trying to express the fact that their life isn't fair. Now a lot of these people are starting to talk about segregating themselves. They're starting to talk about how white people and black people cannot coexist anymore. Black people are starting to use phrases like, you guys have been out for our blood for forever and now it's our turn. But Black Lives Matters is a good thing. The thing that nobody wants to talk about, the thing that nobody talks about, is the fact that at this point the government, the media are working together to keep us pissed off at each other so that we don't notice all the crazy shady things that they're both doing behind the scenes, whether they've got a D behind the name or an R behind the name. And that's why I got so freaked out when I saw someone who's supposed to be a representative of the Party of Liberty say, well, I'm good for gun control. No, because what that proves to me is, again, the same thing that I've said over and over again for the last several days. All they're doing is rearranging the seats at the table. They're not looking out for you and me. They're not looking out for anyone. For God's sake, Louisiana's underwater. Obama's playing golf. Milwaukee's on fire. Obama's playing golf. If there was a Republican in office right now, this stuff would be all over the news.
Rick, what are you talking about? Come on. When Obama is playing golf, and mind you, he played. There's actually they had to do a chart for this. They had to go back and find out how many hours George Bush spent playing golf and how many hours Bill Clinton spent playing golf. Obama has actually spent the least amount of hours playing golf. And first of all, you're the man.
Hang on. Where's your source for that, big guy? Where's it at?
I will get it for you. I actually just saw it the other day on MSNBC.
Oh, yeah, there's a valid source. MSPMS. Sure, go ahead. We'll pull that up. Whatever.
All right. First of all, you're the person of states' rights and whatnot. So when California has an issue, that is California's problem. When Louisiana's underwater because they decided to build there, that's their problem. And you know what?
Hang on. See, I never said I wasn't. But like I said, if there was a Republican in office right now, that would be dominating every single freaking news cycle. But it's not. It's not. That's what I'm tired of, Bryce. I'm tired of it being different depending on who's in office. If we're going to cover something, then it needs to be covered the same, whether it's a Republican in office or whether it's a Democrat in office. I'm not a partisan guy anymore. This is not a Republican-Democrat issue for me anymore because both parties are broken, both parties are infested with cancer, and we need to do something. And the Libertarian Party, from what I'm starting to finally understand from them, they're not any better. So when are we actually going to stand up and start actually trying to do something instead of saying, well, Rick, you're the guy that's supposed to be for states' rights, so why do you care if Obama don't do anything about Louisiana being underwater? I don't care because when George Bush was in office, he was crucified even though he was trying to do something about Louisiana being underwater. Obama's not doing jack crap and nobody's talking about it. That's why I care.
One of them was a natural disaster that was coming, could have been prevented, and George Bush did nothing, and still to this day, many things have yet to come. Many promised funding has yet to come because of...
So whose fault is it now, Skippy?
Because of its cuts to FEMA.
Whose fault is it now, Skippy?
Obama, this is a flood. I mean, I don't know. I don't care.
No, hang on. You just said... So wait, what's the difference between a flood and a hurricane? They're both weather.
I'm blaming George Bush for the way it was handled in the sense that resources never got from point A to B. I'm blaming his administration for his cuts to FEMA. I'm blaming his administration for not handling it correctly.
So who's to blame now?
I'm not blaming anybody because it doesn't seem that it's to the same magnitude or to the same effect. Look, Obama, I don't care if he's playing golf right now.
Bryce, I never thought in a million years I would say this, but you sound like a partisan hack right now. And I'm honestly, literally disappointed. That's not me trying to rile up the listeners. I don't like the fact that right now, because you are this suddenly Democrat, because you got to vote for Hillary, you're not willing to call it out when your party screws up. I've called out my party for years. I don't even have a party anymore, and I'm still calling them out.
I'm just wondering, where is he screwing up here? Because he's played a round of golf at Martha's Vineyard on his yearly summer vacation?
How many people are underwater right now in Louisiana?
Many.
And yet his administration is doing nothing.
Says who? He's just on vacation. I mean, every president takes vacation, and when
this dude's on vacation every other week.
He's not.
Bullshit.
That's ridiculous. Find me a quote where it says that he's taken more vacations than any other normal president. I actually think I've seen that he's taken less. The president of the United States, Barack Obama, is not doing anything wrong on his vacation. Let the man have his 17-day vacation and play his round of golf. This is his last round of golf. And let Louisiana's governor deal with their problems. And when he gets back, sure, let him send in FEMA, let him send in the Red Cross, let him send
So even though he's got an entire entourage with him, no matter where he goes on vacation, he can't do any of that now?
Again, I really haven't been following up on it, but
you know why? And again, you know why you haven't been following up on it? Because the media is not talking about it. And you know why the media is not talking about it? Because there's a Democrat in the damn White House. That's why the media is not talking about it.
Actually,
and I'm sick of this on both sides. I'm sick of it's okay when it's my side, because when it's my side, when somebody drops the ball, conservatives aren't supposed to call them on it. When it's a Democrat that drops the ball, the Democrats aren't supposed to call them on it. I'm done playing partisan politics. At this point, our country is broken. It's in a shambles, and it will probably never be the same again, because if something does not change with the hatred that has been stirred up by Donald Trump and the hatred that has been stirred up by the people that started the Black Lives Matter movement, because nobody's doing anything to curtail either one of them, we are 5 years from a race war. And you can. This is recorded, so you can pull that. 5 years from now, if we're still doing radio, if there's not a riot, I will eat my own hat, because at this point we are looking to the point where if we don't get the government and the media out of the way, we are going to destroy ourselves. And one of the ways that they always do that is they pick favorites. If there's a Democrat in the White House, they can't do anything wrong. If there's a Republican in the White House, everything they do is wrong. And I'm tired of it.
Well, Rick, let me just say, actually I was just reading that Obama's actually issued a declaration of a disaster declaration, whatever it is, and he's actually been speaking with Governor Edwards about the issue. So, I mean, I don't know how much more the president, he's not Moses. He can't clear the waters. Well, again, I will tell you when he's wrong. I've called him out on the TPP. I've called him out on many things he's done wrong, and I've disagreed with him many times. But here, I'm just not going to get on his back on this. It's not something to kill him about.
Whatever. We can agree to disagree, because, like I said, it's not even necessarily the issue of what he's doing, how he's doing it, when he's doing it. It's the fact that if a Republican was in the White House and on vacation when Louisiana was flooded, it would be invading the 24-hour news cycle, and it would be all anyone was talking about. And I'm tired of it being that way everywhere, because at this point we need to find a way to get the media back to the point where they actually report news when it matters, not just because it's partisanly related. And I'm tired of it everywhere. I'm done pulling punches. I'm done being nice. I don't care what the letter is behind your name. I don't care what it is you tell me you believe. It's time for me to show you. It's time for you to show me what you believe. And the simple fact of the matter is, I stand by this statement. If there was a Republican in the White House today, then there would be nothing but nonstop news coverage about a Republican president being on vacation while Louisiana was underwater. It wouldn't matter that he had already started coordinating with people. It wouldn't matter that he was doing what he could do behind the scenes, because the media would be crucifying him because he had the gall to take a vacation while Louisiana was flooding.
All right. Again, I'm going to just say, I agree, Obama. I'm not going to agree with Obama on everything. I'm not going to defend him on everything. But what I am going to say is, he didn't plan for this flood to happen. He didn't foresee it coming.
George Bush didn't plan for Katrina either, but that didn't change anything.
But he's not. Yes, but he could have done more with FEMA to get resources to people, to save people quicker. Obama's issued this declaration of disaster, which means that 20,000 people have already been saved. Unfortunately, 5 people lost their lives, as I've just read, or maybe the number up to 11, I think I just heard. But the point is, this is a problem that the Louisiana state can deal with. They've been dealing with. And the fact of the matter is, look, if we're going to screw around with Mother Nature and start building in flood-prone zones, which they have been for, many, many years, then we have to expect these things before they happen. And I think after Katrina, we've been doing a much better job at it. But look, I'm going to come halfway with you on this one, kind of like on Finding Common Ground, to say that Obama is wrong on many things, but this one I'm just not going to get on his back for, because the guy's on vacation, and while his job never ends, he's the president. I don't know what he could do for Louisiana other than what he's already done. So, I think that's where his job goes.
Okay, so again, my biggest complaint really was not necessarily what Obama has or hasn't done. It's the fact that if there was a Republican in the White House, we would be hearing about what hasn't been done nonstop. And it would be covering the entire news cycle because it's a Republican in the office. Now, while we're talking about things that Obama could have possibly done, and we're about out of time, so we may actually have to have you back on another time to talk about this. Or actually, let's move this over to Finding Common Ground, because we have a guest joining us this weekend, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, he's actually sitting with me right now, but he might be a little too nervous to speak, but I'm going to break that down in a minute. And yeah, he'll definitely be joining us.
So what we're going to be talking about on Saturday's Finding Common Ground episode with a guest that'll be joining us for the hour, we're going to be talking about Black Lives Matter, what the media's contributions have been there, what the administration could have done differently, what Congress might have been able to do differently as a whole, and what it is that we're going to do to stop this, what seems to be inevitable race war. But at this point, folks, we are about out of time, so as we do every time, Bryce, why don't you remind folks where it is that they can interact with you when you're not talking to me, should they choose to do so?
Okay, so I'm sorry. My friend just kind of did something. All right, so you can always find me on Opinionation at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you can find me on Finding Common Ground or on Twitter at Robbins Bryce.
All right, so forgive him, folks. Remember, he's only been doing this for a little over a year. He's not even 18 yet, and he's got a friend apparently over there pushing buttons.
Yeah, I actually apologize. So let me repeat. Again, you can find me on Opinion Nation at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Always have cool guests. And might I just add, we have a guest coming on this week. He's running for president. His name's Ed Baker, and he is a 9/11 truther, and he kind of believes in UFOs. So this is going to be interesting. But I definitely hope that everybody can come join me, and definitely join my friend and Rick, who also is my friend, on Finding Common Ground.
All right, well, on that note, folks, we are out. Have to make room for what is usually the Rhino Report. Unfortunately, for some reason, he didn't send a show to us this evening, so you hear a replay of the Jen and Rick show starting here in just a moment, and I will be back with you live tomorrow night on America Off the Rails. Make sure you stay tuned tomorrow night for the Conservative Curmudgeon radio show, kicking off our primetime lineup. Then we go, there's something we started running at 8 o'clock, and for some reason I can't remember what it is. Oh yeah, the Loftus Report got moved to 8. Then we'll probably have a bonus play of one of the other shows for the week, and then I'll be back with you at 11 Eastern, 10 Central. Here in a second, I'll actually remember how to talk. Get paid to do it everywhere I work, and I still sometimes can't pull it off. Have a great night, folks. This is America Off the Rails. I'm your host, Rick Robinson. I'll be back with you before you know it.
Screw you guys. I'm going home. Later.
Game over, man. It's game over.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
All writers are prone to becoming so attached to our characters and stories that we struggle to see why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing to full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, shaping stories into masterpieces that can stand the test of time. Editing services are provided for all genres and all age categories. Services range from critiques of a short story through to line edits of a full-length novel and copy editing for those preparing for publication. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your websites, as well as help with those book blurbs and promotional material. We won't abandon you to the masses. We want to celebrate with you in your successes. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services and prices, visit us at blackwolfeditorial.com.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control over your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank account, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problems now by calling the experts at Tax Mediation Services and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. Tax Mediation Services is accredited by the Better Business Bureau. Call now for a free case review and a price protection guaranteed quote.
Call Tax Mediation Services now at 800-610-9050. That's 800-610-9050. 800-610-9050.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it, there to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602. Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control over your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank account, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problems now by calling the experts at Tax Mediation Services and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. Tax Mediation Services is accredited by the Better Business Bureau. Call now for a free case review and a price protection guaranteed quote.
Call Tax Mediation Services now at 800-610-9050. That's 800-610-9050. 800-610-9050.